I know you're all excited. Good morning to everyone from Eastern Hills alumni, to the neighborhood, to friends and family. It is an honor and a privilege for me to stand before you this morning. I know you're all excited and anticipating the grand opening of Eastern Hills Care Closet. But first and foremost, I just want to recognize Arlington Heights. They set the standard, they set the bar, and they are here, and I want them to stand for those that are sitting, and let's give them a hand. Eastern Hills is very excited about their grand opening this morning. It's beautiful. The third site has been identified, and it's going to be Polly. And I know they're here. We're going to ask that they please stand. And the last location that has been identified is North Side. They're here. Please stand. Without further ado, I am going to bring up Toby Jackson.
Thank you, Officer Neal, but most importantly, thank you, community. Do you realize we have over 150 people out here today? Let's give ourselves a hand. Now, the Care Closet and today are about our community of 150 strong today, our students, and about teamwork. Community, I want to say just a brief bit about two people that don't want me to say anything. Our mayor, Betsy Price, who is the most involved mayor in education in the history of this city. Thank you, Mayor Price. And my mentor, dear friend and colleague, who does not usually make an appearance before 12 noon, who has represented Arlington Heights for almost 2 decades, Trustee Judy Needham. Without these two ladies, we wouldn't have a Care Closet at Eastern Hills, nor on its way to Poly, nor on its way to Northside, so thank you. I want to recognize my dear friend, Councilman Danny Scarth, who for 7 years has fought for East Fort Worth, but also for education in East Fort Worth, and I thank him every day for allowing me to be the vessel of this work. Thank you, Danny. Today is about our students, and you know, the Care Closet, I've thought and thought, it's a great benefit to students. It's a wonderful benefit. They receive clothes, they may receive food, but what about the kids that work in the Care Closet? They learned something that Trustee Needham and I have talked about a bit, and Dr. Elaine Edmonds and I have spoken about. You know, in our society, giving is undervalued. And learning empathy and learning compassion, and if it's up to Officer Cox, they will learn fashion merchandising. That's always when I make my exit, because I am a monochromatic kind of girl. You know, we never know. College night's coming up, and we never know the smallest thing, an act of kindness that we do for a child may make a difference in their life. And when we give a kid an outfit, we make sure they have food, that pushes them to the next level and gives them the pride that they need to make that presentation in front of the people they need to move to the next level. So I want to thank Julie Cox especially, because you kind of restored my faith and helped me work in a different direction, and thank you. Officer Sharon Neal, I don't know if I realized that you were tougher than Cox and you were a harder driver than she is, but I'll try to meet your expectations. And I thank you for all the hard work this summer. We had some problems because in the summer there aren't kids here. So they did a lot of the work themselves. I also want to thank Sheldon Holmes, and I want to thank Charles Hodges. Hodges, where are you? Raise your hand, please. Hodges has also worked, and I won't tell you how many times he's called me at 10 o'clock at night, and he's still here. And yes, it's safe at Eastern Hills at 10 o'clock at night, I promise. Gil Griffin, who I don't believe is here, but he made the construction and the paint come together. Barbara Williams, I believe you're back there. Could you please stand? Barbara's company, Linebarger, adopted Eastern Hills, and she's also been a push in the original Care Closet that was here, along with Jean Rustin, who's over here, who made me promise not to mention her name. And so I want to thank all of you, because that's how it's happened from our community and through our students. Most importantly, teamwork. Chad McCarty, where are you? Chad and Daniel. Chad's our first-year leader at Eastern Hills High School, but he's a graduate of Eastern Hills, played football here, a graduate of TCU. We're thrilled he's here leading. He and Daniel partnered together, and we made this about synergy between the high schools. Polly is here, Ms. Garcia, and the culinary arts team, and they're providing the food, and they're working with Eastern Hills. When we go to Polly and build the closet, O.D. Wyatt will actually do the construction. Polly will be there, and so will Eastern Hills. So how about that for synergy? Thank you, Daniel and Chad. You know, each of you, 150 folks, today our students see you. And, you know, always make it a big deal when there's an elected official around to introduce students to them. And I mean, sometimes poor Mayor Price is just drugged from the 100-yard line all the way down to the 50. But the reason is we want our students to know that you're accessible, because sometimes they have insurmountable odds and they don't realize that we're just an arm's length away. And if they know, and our faculty know, and our leaders know, that we can all work together and elicit change, I think that's the direction we're trying to go at Eastern Hills, and that's the direction I see the mayor leading the city. You know, today we're going to empower our youth to give and receive assistance via this care closet, and we're going to change their mindset, and we're going to change leadership in this city for decades to come. This idea was conceptualized by our next speaker, a woman who's one of the most empowering and hardworking individuals I know. Please join me in welcoming Officer Julie Cox.
And as Judy is making her way to the podium, would Principal McCarty please make his way this way as well?
People always make me cry before I'm supposed to speak, and I hate that. So if y'all better all be crying with me. That's all I'm saying. I was supposed to give the history of the care closet, which I will, but I first want to share a story. On Friday, I got a phone call from a lady who knew a young man that is an unaccompanied youth that was sleeping on the couch of her parents' house, had no clothes, and had been wearing the same clothes for days and days and days. He still wanted to go to school, so she contacted us because she heard about the care closet. He was able to come get clothes, and she told me that the look on his face when he got that clothes from the care closet was something that she'll never be able to explain. This was before the care closet opened. This is what you guys have done. You know, we get asked every day why we're doing things like this. Why is the police department involved in programs like the care closet? And we always have to share with them the stories that officers share with us when they're out in the streets. And they are the ones who end up arresting these young kids because they're out committing crimes, whether it's prostitution or drug crimes or breaking into cars. And these kids are kids that have confided in us about the fact that they don't have any way to get food. They don't have any clothes. They don't have toiletries. Some of these kids have never even owned a toothbrush. And so we decided as a police department last March that we wanted to make a difference. We actually did a lot of research. We went online to see if other cities were having problems like this. And it was cited in article after article after article that these homeless youth have no legitimate ways of making money. So how do they eat? That's a necessity. And our kids say, okay, that's important. We eat. But everything else is a bonus. If we go without clothes, we go without clothes. So when we kicked off Project Success 1 in March of last year, we started talking to our kids, and we wanted them to be open with us. We wanted them to start confiding in the police department and trusting us so that they could learn that they had a friend in the police department. And they started sharing their stories with us. I had homeless youth that admitted to sleeping behind my office. As a police officer, that for me, it's hard to swallow. I don't know about you guys. But when a young girl tells you she has slept behind your office because that is where she felt safe, that makes it really hard. We shared these stories with the chief's office, and our amazing chief, who's always back. Of course, I come up with some crazy ideas, but backed us 110% on the things that affect our job and affect the community. And especially knowing that these youth needed something. He's just like, do what we need to do. Let's get together. Let's see what we can do for these young kids. So we called the Fort Worth ISD. We met with them in October. And they told us stories very similar to the stories that we had. Kids that wanted to come to school, kids that had no clothes, kids that had no place to live, unaccompanied youth. And so once we left that meeting, we went on this goose chase. We wanted to find answers. We wanted to figure out what we could do, and we started educating the community. And anytime we found the opportunity, whether it was American Business Women's Association, Rosemarie, we did presentations, we educated them, and I'm telling you what, I don't know how many Fort Worth residents ended in my office with donations crying because they didn't realize that we had youth out in the streets that were having to face this type of issue. And it was person after person after person who said, I want to be a part of the answer. And they realized that it's a community problem and it's going to take a community to fix it. Yes, I know the care closet isn't 100% of the answer, but it's definitely a move in the right direction. So after our October meeting and educating the community, we actually had about a portable full of donations. And I'm a police officer for a reason. I don't know how to design a room. I don't know how to build a room. I don't know how to get contractors. So I turned to a good friend of mine, Angela Franklin, with BOMA. And I shared with her what we needed, what we wanted. And she said, okay, let me go back to BOMA and let's see what we can do. Within 24 hours, she had a contractor, she had paint, she had material, she had everything we needed to build Arlington Heights. We had a grand opening at Arlington Heights in March of this year. And the last time I pulled the sign-in sheets, we had helped more than 75 homeless youth at that care closet. That is absolutely amazing. So as soon as we had a chance to catch our breath, Toby Jackson kept sending me emails, hey, call me. And it was amazing. You know, it's drive. Sometimes, like Toby said, you get tired, you lose faith, you want to stop, and it takes someone that crosses your path that makes you realize that you're not finished yet. So we got together with Toby. She was able to get us this portable building, and we were actually in a holding pattern for a while. We had a portable building, we had a lot of donations, we had a lot of kids we knew needed help because I was getting call after call after call about kids who didn't have uniforms, about kids who didn't have food, about kids who didn't have even health care. Archstone Dental's here. Every time I've needed a child or had a child that needed dental work, pick up the phone and call Gloria. I mean, we had all these partners, but we didn't have a second central location to hit the east side of Fort Worth. So we decided, okay, we've got the building, now we really need to act. After about 100 phone calls, we called Sheldon Homes. And I am gonna cry now. We would not be here today if it wasn't for Sheldon Homes. Joey, you and your team they've been absolutely amazing. Y'all really don't know how many kids y'all will affect the outcome of their lives with this care closet. From the kids who are going to learn leadership skills by managing the care closet, to the kids that, like I said, have never owned a toothbrush. You guys, above and beyond. Y'all didn't have to do this, but thank you. Thank you on behalf of the 1,200, 1,600, 1,800 kids, because it keeps growing. Every time we talk to somebody, the number gets larger. Homeless youth that we have, thank you on behalf of this kid that was able to get stuff on Friday. Thank you.
Will our mayor and chief and council, Dennis Scarf, please make your way to the front.
Hi, my name is Chad McCarty. I'm principal here at Eastern Hills High School. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to the many organizations and peoples that were involved in creating this vision and turning it into a reality. As a member of this community, I'm a citizen of the Eastern Hills area. I actually live 4 blocks that way. And also a son of a former retired police officer. My dad spent 26 years on the service in Fort Worth Police Department. I want to say this means a lot to me. This is the start of recruiting our kids to stay in our cities and our schools. For too long, we've lost citizens to other cities, and people will go where they feel like they're cared for. For too long, we've lost students from our schools to other districts because people will go where they feel like they're cared for. And I'm a strong believer that this is a big start, a big jump into keeping not only students in Fort Worth ISD, but citizens in Fort Worth. Because when people leave, tradition leaves, history leaves. That's why I stayed here. That's why I'm encouraging other people to stay here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This means so much, not only to our kiddos, but to me from the bottom of my heart. Thank you all for coming out.
Good morning, everybody. It's great to see so many people out here. You know, following my friend Toby Jackson, I get described as the Energizer Bunny in Fort Worth, but I will tell you, Toby is the Energizer Bunny on steroids. And in just as strong is Julie Cox. And Julie, I'm going to take a minute. Many of you know this, but many of you may not. This is Julie's last week with us. She is retiring from the police department. Chief, I'm not sure how you're going to follow this act, but I have confidence that you will. Julie, let's give Julie an incredible round of applause. She has done so, yeah, I think she deserves a standing ovation. For all of us, we can't overstate the importance of the work that Julie has done. It's that connection to the community. Our police department does incredible things. All our city employees do, but Julie has gone that extra step and really connected everybody to the community, and we appreciate that, Julie, and you'll be sorely missed for what you've done for us. This care closet is just another example of the community. I had the privilege this morning of being at Union Gospel Mission to do the groundbreaking for their new Women and Families Center. Fort Worth continues to care. I'm always amazed. I have the pleasure of seeing the very best in the city and sometimes the less than best also. But it's an incredible city, and each and every one of you who care so much about these kids, this care closet would not have come together without the help of so many people. BOMA stepped up, Sheldon Homes, the police department, mental health, Girls Inc., Linebarger, all of you have done a great job. But for a child to have a chance to have clothes, the toiletries that they need, to make them feel, even though they're homeless, that they belong in their school, may make the difference of them dropping out of school and not getting that education. And for us at the city, education is the backbone of everything that we do. That's why it's so critical that the city partnership. You principals, there are 3 or 4 of you here who are working so hard, and you teachers, you deserve our every bit of gratitude we can have and all the support for what you do for us. This is an incredible partnership to see Arlington Heights stepping up with this. Polly's here to help, then O.D. White and Northside. It's great to see it happening because it continues, as Chad said, that great legacy that we have in Fort Worth, and it will keep our young people here to help us grow the city. Councilmember Danny Scarth works hard on your behalf here, does an incredible job, and Danny's one who stayed in Fort Worth, and Danny, for that, will be eternally grateful. You do a great job. So thank you all for your selfless acts of caring about these children, but more importantly, for caring about our city, the city we call home, that Fort Worth is great. Continue to work hard on behalf of our children, continue to work hard on behalf of our community, just as our school board members, Judy, Toby, and all the others do. So thank you for having us today, and thank you for making this happen. We appreciate it.
Good morning, everyone. It's definitely a bittersweet day for all of us. There are many days within this position, all of us wearing a uniform, regardless of where we serve our country, whether we serve our communities. There are many times that are challenging for us, and right now within our city we have some tough, challenging budget times. I want to say thank you to the mayor, members of council, our city management team. They made public safety a priority, and because for the last 5 years we've had some pretty tough budget years, people just like Julie Cox have been able to do their job. Their positions have been saved, and as chief of the greatest police department in the nation and the strongest community-based police department in the world, that means a lot to us. So for all of our elected officials, our community leaders, thank you so much for believing in us, and thank you so much for letting us do what we want to do. And what we want to do is serve our community. I just wanted to say something very, very special about the relationship we share. If you look historically at every success within the police department, the community is an active partner and was a driving force in that program. Every single program, every single success that we are privileged to see, it's because of you. You partnered with us, you believe in us, and you have joined with us, and that's what makes it so amazing to be chief in a city like this, is because hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of leaders, 15 years old, 50 years old, 75 years old, they want to lead with us. And this is exactly the kind of product that we can produce with you. I just want to say a special thank you for Julie. And Julie, I'm going to embarrass you for just a minute if you could stand up. We gave you a standing ovation, but I want to say something from the heart for you right now. Please give her a round of applause. I'm going to say something that'll make you smile. No one here knows, but Julie and I have a standing joke between us because she will start rumors in my office when she calls me her daddy. So I tell her that's kind of offensive to me because I'm not that old, so now she calls me her big brother. But all of you know the size of the heart that Julie has for giving. All of you know what a beautiful person she is. She's 10 times as giving and 10 times as beautiful when you actually see her work and you see her perform. I have said many, many times that this organization has leaders at every level. It's because of that woman right there that proves that statement true every day of this week. Julie, as your friend, as your chief, but also as your partner, and one, I support you. I know you're doing what's right for you. I know it's the toughest decision for you and Steve, but I just wanted you to know your love and the change that you have made in this community will impact generations. And as a resident and as a fan of yours, we are blessed to be in your presence. Thank you so much for all you do. Thank y'all so much.
From a lot of folks here today already, and so I'll try to be brief, but I do want to express my appreciation to Julie and all the work that she has done. It's great to, I want to touch on something that Toby said, and that is, it's not just about the kids who are able to be provided for through this effort and the difference that it makes in their life and be able to come to school, maybe stay in school, to have the opportunities that some others have that they may not have had throughout their life. But it's a lot about the opportunity to give. And I know there was a time when someone that I went to school with who didn't have much had borrowed some money from me. And I was sort of lamenting one day. I was asking my dad if I could have a little gas money. And I said, you know, I haven't gotten that money back from my friend that borrowed it. And he said, listen, you've had a lot in your life. He's never had what you had. You don't worry about the money. And as a 16-year-old, that kind of brings you down a little bit. You think, wow, my dad kind of said it straight. I hadn't, just those little things that your folks can say. So to give to somebody else means a lot. To be able to do it in this environment, I think is great. Judy, you, and I know you got a little Heights connection with the mayor, and that's not quite fair, but I will tell you that I'm not sure there's anywhere in Fort Worth, and maybe not another school, where I see the evidence of the city and the school district working closer together than I do in East Fort Worth. And Toby has been such a blessing to us. I'm not sure that the principals are always happy when we just cruise in unannounced, but we do it a lot anyway. But it's great to visit schools and to see those bright, shining faces and the teachers that are so full of giving. And to be able to see our fire academy here and the work that the city of Fort Worth has done to help enable that. Boy, I am so impressed with the ROTC and all those folks. How about a hand for them? it really makes your day to pull into an event like this and see a kid in a crisp uniform saying yes sir and no sir and you know, pointing you in the right direction, and they're always so courteous, and they just do a terrific job. This is one of the best programs that I think there is in the city, and I'm proud of that. Chad McCarty, he really is good. He used the word recruiting kids to come back into school and to stay in Fort Worth, and that's one of the jobs that we've got to take on our shoulders and really work hard on, and that is coupling economic development with education. Because we know, in one hand, education benefits when we have good economic development. We bring higher paying jobs, more folks back into the city, into the central city. That helps our schools, and better schools helps us bring those folks back into the city. So it is a chicken and an egg, and we just got to keep chasing ourselves around until we find out the formula for making better schools and better economic development in the central city. And the mayor and I are committed and dedicated to doing that with help from Toby and from Judy. We're going to figure out how to make that happen, and we're very serious about it. But today, it's a great honor to be here. And Chief, thank you for all the work that you've allowed your police officers. Julie, we're going to miss you very much. We may have to look at some retirement thing. I don't know. But no, we're glad that you're able to go and do what you need to do. But we certainly appreciate all the work that you've done. And it's great to be here today and celebrate this victory with all of you. Thank you very much.
Good morning, I'm Barbara Williams. I have the privilege of being the chairman of Girls Inc. this year. And we have the amazing opportunity to have a program here at Eastern Hills High School. And as a result of that, we have the opportunity now to manage the care closet. So the program we have for the class is economic literacy, where the girls learn about money, the economy. They learn how to save money, invest money, give money to charities, and they have a program called economic entrepreneurial opportunities. And so in that program, they get to learn about the entrepreneurship, and they get to use their opportunities here in this program. They get to use their skills, they get to hone their skills, and they get to market, they get to do retail, they get to do inventory. They've even gone outside, they've gone to Old Navy and toured their facilities, talked with the administration, and learned additional skills. And so now when they go out into the community and get a paying job, they will already have experience without even having a paying job. So what they are getting here is job skills. But most of all, what they are getting here is the community support and the learning skill of giving back to their community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. I'm Hallie Kennedy. I'm a student here at Eastern Hills High School. I'm a senior. I'd also like to thank Mayor Betsy Price for being here today along with our other honored guests. The Highlander Care Closet is important for the self-esteem of the students and important to their education. The Care Closet is to help students stay in school, be in dress code compliance, and be given an opportunity to achieve academic success. Because of circumstances at home, some students aren't able to accommodate their day-to-day needs. The Highlander Care Closet will help supplement and provide clothing, emergency food, toiletries, and school supplies to any student at Eastern Hills. I'm very excited to have this opportunity with Girls Inc. to keep the environment of the Care Closet welcoming like a small boutique and a place to feel at home. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, what we've all been waiting for, if you would stand with me and put your hands together and welcome Joey Goss of the Chilton Homes.
As a group, Chilton Homes, we are honored to be here today. Thank you for all the people that have given us the opportunity to give back in not only Fort Worth, but in the entire Tarrant County community where we work and live. I would tell you that today we've heard from elected officials, we've heard from nonprofit, but I think it's really important how business must get involved in educating the youth of today to become the leaders of tomorrow. And so with that, I would like to say on behalf of all the employees, trades, vendors, and partners at Children's Homes, thank you for allowing us to give back and participate in the Highlander Care Closet Project. With a special thanks to these people, Kelly Stevens with the ProBuild Company, Kevin Deaton, B&W Cabinets, Brent Stone with PPG. They're the companies and people that provided the planning and the products and the personnel to do the work inside for the care closet. Through the years, Children's Homes has had the opportunity to give back to the community in several different situations. We were fortunate enough and blessed, and the mayor will remember Mr. Martinick's house, the World War II veteran whose home burnt down. We were honored to work hand in hand with Trinity Habitat to rebuild Mr. Martinick's home. Years ago, we had the opportunity to participate in the extreme homemaker process in Lancaster with Officer Carlton Marshall, who was shot in the head on a routine home search. We had the opportunity to rebuild his house with the team at ABC, and it was quite an experience. And so what we've learned through these experiences is that not only do we have the opportunity to give, but we receive as much or more than we ever give. So with that being said, I'd like to tell you that I'm proud to be a part of the folks, the homeowners that gave many items that you see in here today that were collected. And in addition to the closet that we built, I want to thank the homeowners that provided these items. At Children's Homes, we feel like it's important to give back in the communities where we live and work. What a better initiative can there be than to build self-esteem in the youth of today to be the leaders of tomorrow? It's no secret that the inner city schools and educational system as a whole in America are falling behind. Isn't it our responsibility to improve the process by which the system works? Although the growing trend of homeless youth is a much larger issue to tackle, shouldn't we as a community begin by providing the basic needs that will help to build the individual self-esteem in these youth? It's been my experience that giving is paradoxical. The more I give, the more I receive. It's my opinion that not only works on a personal level, but in the community also. Just think, even if one person's life is changed by our community's effort, wouldn't it be worthwhile? Picture one young man or one young lady that breaks the cycle, earns their diploma, goes to university, trade school, or to work, and they become ingrained in the community that helped them, then pushes repeat by teaching others what they have learned and experienced. As a matter of fact, the principal at Eastern Hills is exempling that today. Isn't that the community in Fort Worth that we are building? I think so, and the Care Closet program is just one more step on the journey to becoming the best community possible. Again, thank you for all the staff and employees at Children's Homes for allowing us to participate.